Извиняемся за то, что мы прервались. К сожалению, вот связь нам не позволяет, но мы будем пытаться еще раз. So let's try to restart again and join because low signal. Everyone is at home, so it happened. Sorry for interrupting, but I will try to go on and complete the talks. So. Мы надеемся, что у нас получится все-таки завершить разговор. So yes, now it's better. I cross fingers that we can talk more. So Sarah, so we were talking about collections. I think that you prepared some photos for us. Let's try to go through that images. I think that people will enjoy this. So from which photo I should start? So we were talking about your showrooms, right? I think that it's Paris Deco of last photo, right?
Yeah, so that's what we were talking about.
Always crowded, always crowded. I know.
Quite so this is New York showroom. So we have showroom in Paris, obviously the flagship showroom in Bangkok. We have a showroom in Atlanta and London. These are all our own showrooms. And then the rest of the showrooms we are with agents and distributors all over the world. So in Russia, we are with
Yes, we were checking. So last collections, of course, it was again different one, and we were talking about the new concepts. Of course, you have a very different collections and different brands in your company. So we are wondering about the ideas. What will be important, what your designers are saying, what your management, because management is also taking care of trends and what's going on. So what are you thinking about the trends? What will be important for people, and how you will transmit all these ideas to your new collections and concepts? Could you share us your opinion?
Okay, so obviously we were talking earlier about you asked what the motto of Thompson is, and we started with being a silk company, so we take great pride in being the best in the industry, and that's sort of through quality control as well as being able to launch a lot of these new modern designs, still using very traditional production technique, because the silk yarns are so fragile that you have to do a lot of things by hand. So with our senior designer Susan North, who's based in New York, she helps us design all these really beautiful things, and among them we try to make sure that we do something in silk as well, because that's our heritage. But that doesn't mean that we only do silks. We try to think about, what would people need to have in a beautiful home or in a beautiful restaurant, or hotel, and that's how we generally put in collections.
Will you do something different, because people are saying now that everyone is trying to be cocooned, and yes, everyone is saying that very beautiful things we need. So even some people who were about some very simple basic designs and home now are trying to decorate it with colors and for more bright designs, and now probably time of Jim Thompson is coming. I think.
Yeah,
so.
I think that would be.
What about techniques? What about design ideas? Totally, you are talking. Yes, beautiful is important. Now everyone is talking about. So maybe you have some ideas, or it's some commercial secret, and you want to surprise us.
I think, as well as the selling side of things, we want to be a brand that inspires people to live in a beautiful world. It doesn't need to be expensive. It's just, somewhere where you feel very comfortable in, So I think with Jim Thompson, are about value for money. You know, I think it's every, you know, I'm in sales, so something I learned from the very beginning is something, you know, it's not always sort of buying things, it's sort of investing in a beautiful home, in a beautiful lifestyle. So, you know, with Jim Thompson and with the philosophy of Mr. Thompson himself, he collects beautiful things around the world, and he makes his home such a beautiful place, a place where you feel really, really, you know, happy in, and you come home and it's sort of, it's good for your soul and it's good for your heart, and we want to be that kind of fan. So we do a lot of really quirky things, but you know, there are things that are really, really special, and so yes.
So as far as I've heard from you that you are also taking care about the policy, pricing policy, because also this is a very important point. So whether you're is really thinking on some budget things that will be very more available for mid segment, for example, for people, for all people, I mean. So this is, I've heard from you, that's good news because this is the biggest tendency. Okay, let me translate.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I get your
I was just saying to say, you know, I think the price of something in the Jim Thompson range, one thing that's really important is that Jim Thompson range is mainly 100% natural yarn. So the silk, if you watch you can go and watch our video in the that's a link on Instagram to watch the silk processes. If people know the amount of time and effort it takes to make 1 yard of silk, I think you realize that, you know, the price is not expensive, it's justifiable, and it is really value for money. You know, aside from that, it's all about, you know, if you invest in something that's a little bit more pricey, but it stays with you for a long time, that is value for money. If you buy something that's not expensive, but it lasts 2 years, it is expensive, right? So
yes,
it's all about investing in the right material. And, you know, like I was saying, we make sure that the quality is as important as the design. So, and yes, you know, within the Jim Thompson range, you have something that are more expensive because, you know, the blend in the yarn or the technique is, it's so time consuming. Our e-caps to weave, you know, 1 day you can only weave 80 centimeter. So they are more pricey, of course, than something that's woven on an automatic loom. But in terms of having a range of things that where people want to be able to buy or to start, you know, investing in our brand, we do have, you know, like I said, we have number 9 different price points for Studio B as well. So we try to cater for the market.
You know, in Russia we have this type of wording: we are not so quite rich to buy very cheap things. I think this is exactly the philosophy that you're trying to explain, because valuable and yarns and everything that the things will last for many years and we will love it. Let me translate. Я спросила у ССА по поводу того, что планирует. Мы сейчас обсуждаем коллекции, да, мы сейчас обсуждаем, как компания готовится к новому сезону, на что делается фокус и на что повлияет, ну, как тренды повлияют вообще на изменения, да, в коллекциях. Мы обсуждали, я пыталась долго у Сасаи выпытать тайны, но она в крепкий орешек сильно не сдается. Единственное, что она рассказала, что они сейчас сотрудничают с дизайнером из Америки, из Нью-Йорка, пытаются сделать какую-то очень интересную вещь. А мы знаем, что Джим Томпсон всегда привлекает очень разных дизайнеров из разных стран, и всегда коллекция очень разнообразная, да. Такую интригу она посеяла, и главная задача разработки новой коллекции этого дизайнера будет делать очень-очень красивые вещи. Вот это ключ, вот как бы такой параметр, на что будет концентрация, пока Сасай не говорит, немножко сдержана. И вторая вещь, которая мне симпонировала, да, и которую тоже мы слышим сейчас часто, это что все-таки компания задумывается над ценовой политикой, да, и, конечно же, понимая текущую ситуацию, будут задумываться над прайсом, над тем, чтобы все-таки была доступность их тканей, да, для более широкого, да, спектра заказчиков. И, как подчеркнула Сасая, в общем-то, компания считает, что ценник на самом деле не такой высокий, да, поскольку ткани из натуральных тканей в большей степени, и собственное производство, и, в общем-то, это позволяет компании, ну, в большей степени регулировать ценовую политику, да, здесь такая особенность есть, да, возможности у компании. Okay, Sasai, so you are just trying to keep us intrigued. So, as always, because I know that always you have different designers, like Designers Guild, invited to new collections, and we are intrigued with seeing new collection. So, what are you thinking about running situation? So now it's going. How it's going in sales? How it's going on orders? How do you feel now the situation and totally? Whether you're, of course. Many companies are saying that it is decreasing, but at the same time they feel for now it started to grow, the demand, because people started to make orders. What about Jim Thompson feeling now?
Well, you know, I think like any other companies, we're in the same situation as a lot of people's work is disrupted. Various countries have their own government, you know, measures how to keep safe. Obviously, business is disrupted. In some countries, there's no drop in sales at all, which is great, touch wood. And in some countries, it's, you know, it's impacted quite a lot. And so we are hoping that, you know, we can still inspire people and keep up, you know, because the thing is, the operation in Thailand or even in the UK, we are still working as normal. You know, our sales team are working from home, and we're very lucky with our technology to be able to do that. So our sales team, the sales office team is working as normal, the warehouse is working as normal, the production side is working as normal. It's just that obviously, you know, we're working with designers, and if the company is not working, then also affects us. But we're hoping that we're using this time to find ways to get in touch with designers. And even if they can't, you know, specify right now, at least they, you know, they know that we're here for them. They can ask for samples. We can do presentation online. We're doing a lot of talks with our own designers, guest designers. So,
and by the way, can we see your samples and everything available on your website? Because you started quite a long time ago to invest in your web, and one of the best web side of companies. So not now even. So and you're like on this. So yes. Let's show you. This is your website, right? So I'm just. Trying to find the shoots that, so everything you have on your website, right? So it's easy to serve, and if we need some samples, we can just choose and request from you to send us to show the clients, right?
Yeah. So we started investing in a new website since 2013 actually, so it's been 7 years, and we make changes you know, quite regularly, and we treat our website like a showroom, you know, so we don't use it like an electronic or a marketing tool. It's like a showroom. So we think about it like, you know, how would people sample? How can we make it, you know, as easy as possible to shop? And so the website is almost like a virtual showroom where people go in, look at photos, put schemes together, and then send it to various sales reps for them to follow up. So a very useful tool.
I see. And how many sales goes to web and live? So we do our market still quite conservative, or people are moving to web now? So because you have a big experience, started to 2013, right? So how is your shares?
Well, I think with fabrics, you always, you know, it's a good reference, but at the same time, I think our industry still needs a huge touch, because fabric is such a tactile thing. But I think what it does is it helps people to do the admin side of things much easier. It's also really helpful for us to be able to communicate with clients to say, okay, well, have a look at these first. If any of them, you know, suit your schemes, we can send samples. And, you know, actually this is something that could work really well with designers as well. If you're sort of, you know, controlling your budget, is a website is such a great tool, you know, and I know we're not the only company who does this, because when the images are quite good and the color match really well with the sample itself, you know, as a designer, instead of, you know, investing heavily on samples, you can refer to website, and then once the client has narrowed down the color schemes, and you can ask the samples, you know, that in that way it helps make the work more efficient and can help control budget as well.
Okay, let me translate. Конечно же, мы сейчас говорим о том, что происходит в бизнесе, как идут продажи и вообще какие у нас есть ресурсы для того, чтобы продолжать поддерживать отношения, поддерживать дизайнеров и клиентов. Компания Thompson достаточно давно инвестировала в веб, и вот есть, да, примеры, как оформлено все, достаточно много информации. ССА называет веб-сайт отличным инструментом, практически хорошая альтернатива, сравнимая с походом в шоурум. И, конечно же, но тем не менее, да, я задала вопрос, насколько много продаж идет на веб, и либо все-таки их заказчики более консервативные. ССА говорит, что все-таки дизайнер все равно больше работает с подбором образцов, а дальше уже идет отправка образцов, и уже можно, когда дизайнеры уже могут поработать с клиентом напрямую, да, и уже подобрать, да. То есть веб-сайт — это скорее такой инструмент для поиска, да, не для размещения заказов в этом смысле. Конечно же, в целом продажи сейчас сильно, ну, не то что волатильно, да, где-то в каких-то странах вообще их нет, как сказала Сасая, где-то есть динамика на рост, да, насколько вот я поняла, немножко сигнал падает. Sasaya, could you tell me, so if designers want to choose some samples, you can send some chosen like Tirelli or some cut, right? Or you can offer to some ready books if they want, and just fast deliver from your stocks and showrooms. You have enough samples in your local stocks in the UK and USA, right? So it's easy to operate.
So most of the sample books and most of the Tyrrell or the memos we stock in Bangkok. But, you know, for your market, for example, Peerfrey has good stock of samples as well. If they don't, they order it from us. So whether you send the ordered samples to us or you send it to Peerfrey, I'm sure that we can service the memos for any clients who's interested in our fabrics.
And what about logistic now? Everything goes well, so it's okay because
we, you know, touch wood, we never actually had to close. So we've been quite lucky. You know, Thailand has some government guidelines, but they never ask warehouses to close. So our warehouse in Thailand never closed. The UK, we were closed for 1 week. And as soon as we can make sure that our staff are working safely, it's been back operating as usual. We've been very, very lucky. And I hope that the situation will improve.
So you almost didn't stop and we were operating mostly like normally. Okay, let me translate. Конечно же, я задала Сасай вопрос, как идет работа, ну, вообще сейчас, да, и в целом. Сасай говорит, что мы практически не останавливали работу, да, и у них есть достаточное количество тканей, образцов на складах, и, в принципе, они достаточно, ну, продолжали обслуживать заказы и продолжают достаточно быстро. Sasai, do you think that we will have, if, let's say, for future, the situation will be longer, for example, what's your prognosis for textile business? So for short-term period, for long-term, what do you think?
For a textile, I think, I think it's very difficult to try and guess. But I think, in my experience, anything to do with interior goes hand in hand with, with real estate, and that goes hand in hand with the economy. But at the same time, I think because a lot of the brands are in the luxury sector, in the luxury sector, maybe the more time people spend at home, they'll realize that, they just really want to do up that spare bedroom, or they want to turn something into a home office. For example, here I see a lot of people doing DIY work. A lot of friends who are doing gardening, doing a lot of things that's more focused on the home. So maybe in the textile business, it's good. Obviously, that also has to do with, how much of their work is affected, and different country will be different.
So for short term is okay, for long term, we'll see.
Yeah, I think we just have to see, and I think a lot of other, other brands will be the same, because it's demand supply, and we just have to see. And I think any smart business would try and adapt to the economy,
Mm-hmm. And did you stop any kind of items, probably because it's not reasonable to produce with see low demand, or you still operate the same? So did you make a slower production? So how was your risk management for these days?
Yeah, so I think, like any businesses, when business are slow, you do have to be careful with stock. But we're very lucky, we have our own production. So we've been really, really lucky. And with hand woven silk, the minimum quantity to produce is only 40 meters, which is actually great during this kind of time. Obviously, we do produce with outside specialists with some very, very specialized things. So normally we could keep good stock of. So like you said, obviously if this goes much longer, we probably have to rethink our strategy. But for the time being, touch wood, we're okay. So fingers crossed that things will go back to normal soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what about your staff? Because of course, about the stop some items, I think that people can understand this, because now it's the situation is like this. This is, I think that's normal. Just I can accept it. It's okay. So what about your staff? Did you cut some personalities, so you're still okay with operating with the same staff?
Well, some of our showrooms are, because let's say, for example, in the UK, here the measure is quite strict. So we have to close the showroom, and most of our staff are working from home. So, majority of our staff are working from home. I'm talking about the home furnishing side of things. And of course, some of the people in production, we are minimizing. That depends on the demand as well. People are in the office has to work as normal, because there's still a lot of operations. So it's mostly reduced hours, but most people has to still continue, and a lot of us still work. So we're trying to find ways to work around it. And I think like any other company, we really want it to affect staff, but or depends on how long this goes on for. So
yeah, because you're a manufacturer, and this is another business. I mean, so because for manufacturers, of course, many people are working for many years in the company, and it's difficult to support, because in editors, 100% editors, so it's self stuff. Okay, you can work with a percentage or like this, it's okay, but it is why I'm asking. It's normal. Everyone is understand this. Let me translate. я задала вопрос SSI по поводу того, как происходит сейчас ситуация в бизнесе, в продажах, насколько повлияла ситуация, сокращались ли какие-то артикулы, например, приостановлены ли, да, были, и Сосай сказал, что мы сейчас достаточно много произвели артикулов, у нас достаточно много всего было на складах, да, до текущего времени нам хватало, но также она не исключает возможность, что, конечно, если будет более долгосрочная перспектива, то это нормальная история, когда мы будем смотреть и, возможно, что-то будем более в лимитированном производстве делать, какие-то цвета, например, да, Сосай не исключает такой возможности, безусловно, все должны сейчас управлять бизнесом аккуратно. Также я задала вопрос по поводу персонала. Сокращался ли персонал? Что-то закрыли, какие-то шоурумы, допустим, да? Что сейчас происходит, поскольку в ССА все-таки управляющий менеджер, да? И для всех нас понятно, что управление и сокращение расходов также отражается на сокращении, да? Бывают случаи с сокращением персонала, да? ССА сказала, что, в общем-то, в большей степени пока весь персонал сохранился, да, в компании работает, потому что есть производство, и это тоже непросто, да, одно дело просто клиентчики, да, люди, которые занимаются продажами, да, представители, где можно работать на комиссионных, допустим, да, когда это персонал производства, то тут намного сложнее происходит регулирование, люди, которые работают годами, да, практически всю жизнь на производстве, и, конечно, нелегко принимать такие решения, но пока ССА говорит, что да, какие-то шоурумы были закрыты, какие-то люди все-таки остались работать дома, перевели на там сдельную работу, да, и как-то отрегулировали, но большую часть персонала удалось все-таки сохранить. And so of course I'm making not easy questions, and of course everyone, but I think that people appreciate that you're open and share that you say yes, we are working, we are doing our risk management, and it's okay. So everyone can understand this, because we cannot declare that everything is okay, and it's okay. So this is why we are in talks now. So, Cesar, I'm also wondering about your opinion, whether we really need to prepare for new reality, or you believe that we will come back soon to normal life, and for our business no need to think seriously on some different approaches. What do you think on this?
I think, well, I'm speaking personally, I think. You know, for example, today we are currently living in the UK. In the UK, you know, the government guideline is very, very strict. So you're not really supposed to go anywhere apart from, you know, really essential. And today we went out to the supermarket, you know, and I spoke to my husband and I said, do you feel that things are getting better? Because I feel like, you know, it seems like it's getting better. And he said, no, I think you're just used to this new norm, right? So I think that's a general consensus, and you know, also acting as the managing director for our UK subsidiary here in the UK is really, really difficult as well to tell people what's going to happen next, because everything changes on a daily basis. So, you know, what I tell myself or what I tell people, my personal opinion is we have to be able to react and adapt to whatever the future is, whether it's good, whether it's bad, you know. And I think, you know, some people adapt quick, some people adapt slower. But, you know, I think the survival of the fittest is not who is the strongest or who is the most rich at this point. It's who is able to adapt. And we want to be a brand that's, you know, that can adapt to this new norm. So, you know, it's sort of thinking about what kind of product do we have to launch now that, you know, people are much more hygienic. Do we have to start launching things that you can clean easily? Do we start, you know, so it's sort of, it's a really good time for a business to think about strategy and what is necessary. So it's a really, really interesting time for us. And I would say, you know, think about your business and how to adapt to the new norm. You know, that would be my personal take on it.
Yes, and so are you working on some strategy A, strategy B, and like this in your management team? Let's say, what if we will stay at home for 2 years? How to operate?
Well, I think it's really complicated in a way because we are a supplier, you know, we're not designers. So yes, we can sell directly to end consumer, that's not a problem. But you know, when you're B2B and you start doing retail, then you cut out all the designer, that's not good. So I think if we are stuck at home for 2 more years and we have to try and find a way to connect to designers to see, you know, how we as a, I think it's really important to know that we are a community. You know, it's not just about us, Jim Thompson, selling the products. It's about the design community as a whole. So we are just a player in that. So we have to listen to what the community is doing. Of course, you know, any business survival is to be able to make it sell. So, but at the same time, you know, it's a balance between what the market is doing, what are the designers doing, what are people doing, and listening to them. Hopefully, we'll be able to adapt as well.
Good strategy to listen to people. Okay, let me translate. Конечно же, я задала вопрос Сай, что она думает по поводу того, как будет, нужно ли готовиться нам к новой реальности, нужно ли нам, владельцам бизнесов, да, и компаний, задумываться над тем, как приспосабливаться к новой реальности и жить дальше, и либо все вернется на круги своя и будет продолжаться. Сай говорит, что по ее ощущениям сейчас в Англии, например, жизнь вроде бы как внешне выглядит, как будто возвращается в круги своя, но на самом деле внутреннее ощущение такое, что нужно все равно адаптироваться, да, и эти процессы адаптации займут достаточно много времени, да. Конечно же, я вот пыталась задать вопрос по поводу того, что будет, если, например, еще ситуация продлится, и работает ли компания над разработкой стратегии А, стратегии Б для того, чтобы сохранить бизнес на плаву. Сузай сказала, что мы все-таки в большей степени, ну, поставщики, да, на рынках, и, конечно же, в первую очередь мы будем включаться и стараться слушать людей, с которыми мы работаем, да, и, ну, давать обратную связь и реагировать. Это базовая вещь, над которой они сейчас работают, да, я так понимаю, что аналитика информации, сбора, дальше уже будут какие-то приниматься решения. Okay, so Sarah, so maybe you will make some kind of wish for designers and some good wordings to them, so to support people now, and some nice words for them.
Sure. I would say, you know, don't feel alone. I think we're all in this together, you know, wherever we are in the world. And, you know, as designers, as part of design community, keep on doing great work that you're doing. Create a lot of beautiful things, keep inspiring people, because I think more than ever we need something to be inspired by, something to really lift up. Keep up the good work, and we hope to be able to support your business where so, you know, please reach out to us. We're operating as usual.
Perfect, wonderful, thank you very much. Ну и, конечно же, я попросила пару слов, да, приятных для дизайнеров, для пожелания от Сая. Сай сказала, что, ну, не останавливайтесь, потому что сейчас работа дизайнеров очень нужна, мы нужны людям, да, и продолжайте делать красивые, замечательные вещи. Мы, как компания, да, как поставщики, будем стараться слышать вас, да, будем делать новые коллекции и стараться работать над ценовой политикой, как мы слышали раньше. Это я уже немножко от себя добавила, да. Сосай сказала более элегантно, да, что мы будем стараться вас поддерживать, пытаться услышать и быть всегда с вами рядом. Sasai, I think that, of course, at the moment there are many questions, and of course we need to adopt and to support each other for next days. So I wish that all this situation will turn to all of us in positive side. Of course, from the first side, of course, there are some low sales or another. Probably this situation will turn to your company with the new production. Very nice, very technical, maybe, or new clients, another one, new markets, probably. So thank you very much for your time, for your inspiration, for showing your company and history, and for your open talks. Of course, everyone has more questions now than response, but maybe next days when you are ready to launch new collections, you will make some kind of spoiler for us, and our designers will appreciate it and will be happy to see it also. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think that we enjoyed our talk. So it was some bit connection difficulties. Sorry for this, but everyone is at home now. That's why. So
Well,
it was really nice. So stay big, great greetings from us, from our team to all your team. So be strong, and thank you for your support, and all the best from us. With love from Russia to Bangkok, to London, to you say to all your team, and hope next days we will meet in Paris and see a beautiful collection soon.
So thank you so much, Anna, for inviting me, for inviting us to this. And you know, if you have, or if anybody listening, if you have any inquiries, please email us. Our contact can be found on our website, or just message us on Instagram, and we'll get back to you. But you know, stay safe. You know, be inspired by our beautiful fabric, and спасибо.
Thank you very much. Сусая всем пожелала прекрасного, все-таки вдохновляться, да, не опускать руки, да, поддерживать своих клиентов, и надеемся, что мы все-таки встретимся скоро вживую в новом сезоне в Париже. Thank you very much. Thank you for being with us, for all our followers. So till next time. See you. Bye bye.
Bye.